Welcome to Dolly Pardon, the sassiest, classiest, and most unfiltered adult collectors podcast.
We are serving up weekly episodes packed with laughs, hot takes, and all of the tea from the world of adult doll collecting. Whether you're into high fashion minis, vintage treasures, or just here for the love of dolls, we've got you covered.
So grab a drink, strike a pose, and let's talk dolls, because collecting isn't just a hobby. It's a lifestyle. Welcome to Dolly Pardon, the most amazing podcast on YouTube and Spotify. Today we have a very juicy episode for you people. We're going to be talking with a friend of the podcast, and we're going to be talking about like collecting, burning out, and common collectors issues really. And of course we're going to review some of the recent releases in the doll world. But first,
That's not a serial number. That's a tramp stamp.
it's true.
Pink Friday, Pink Tuesday, and Pink Saturday and Sunday. Every day is Barbie, bitch.
It's doing the pink. House of Deluge is an acquired taste. If you don't like it, acquire some taste.
Hey. And then vomit.
Okay, now on to our next segment, Dolly Pardon Fake News, where we discuss real news for fake bitches. We have 3 new dolls to discuss. There is a lot to go over. First up, we have the first new doll of the 2025 W Club year. It is a Jason Wu fashion royalty doll. It's a Eugenia Frost Venus Rising. And the inspiration here was kind of like a nod to Jason's favorite screening from a Jason Wu fashion royalty doll of the past. And the clothes are inspired fresh off the Jason Wu runway. What do you guys think?
First of all, thank you to Fashion Doll Chronicles for the pictures. I don't like Eugenia, so I'm not a Eugenia collector, okay? The screening is very old, in my opinion. It's a very old-fashioned style of screening. The only thing that they've actually changed is the color of the lips from the original and the hair. I don't like the strikes of the brassy, reddish, brownish color in the hair. It just gives me very 2006. She's pretty because Eugenia is gorgeous. I really like the bleached brows. I think is a nod to a very coveted grail for some collectors. She's a made-to-order doll, and
Which is something new, right?
Yeah, well, yes. Jason Wu, usually they're lottery dolls. She's a made-to-order doll, and she is $199.
So I originally really liked her screening at first glance because I like a bleached brow. I'm really into a bleached brow. But whenever I look really closely, like if this prototype has fucked up eyeliner, how many like issues are we gonna have? Do you see that? So I'm just like, that would really bother me if this was the doll that I got. So I was thinking about getting her just because I really love this bodysuit and the harness. That's my favorite part. Like, especially like, oh my God, it's beaded all the way through the front and the back. It's a gorgeous fit. I was originally going to get her just for these 2 pieces, but it just seems like such a waste. And then just try to sell the doll nude and try to keep that cost down. It just seems like a lot. So I think I'm personally just going to pass. The skirt to me seems a little bit like a cheap shot, like just using a bunch of tulle. I don't know. The runway inspiration looked a lot more fashion forward, and they did talk about that in the unveiling, that sometimes it's really hard to scale down that human-sized fashion piece into a doll form. So this is why they had to change the skirt a lot. But I just don't think that the skirt looks great. I would have much rather preferred to see like a tuxedo pant or a trouser with this look. I don't think that the skirt is very flattering at all.
I mean, when I first saw her, I gasped because I thought she was gorgeous. And I still do. I just don't know if she's something I would want to buy. I think I'm very much on the same page as you, Estefan, in that I like the outfit. The skirt is very grand, but it does feel a little bit easy compared to the rest of the outfit. And again, the beading looks awesome. The harness, amazing. I'm a sucker for a doll with long hair, and the fact that her hair is also probably going to be quite short is another reason why I'm not that interested. But as Naomi mentioned, the price and the way that things are going will dictate which dolls I buy from now on.
Right. All right. Let's move on to the next doll.
The next doll is Miss Definitely Lucinda, also known as DefaLucy. They're coming for my reroute game. I would like to say that I posted this hairstyle and the same color, well, similar color on my ordeal 3 days before they announced this. So just putting it out there.
They work pretty quick.
Just put it out there. But how do we feel about her?
I like her colours, the hair and her skin tone, and the dark lip is very nice.
Love the lipstick.
I do like the hair color for the skin tone. I think that it like usually in the scenario where a hair color is very close to the skin tone, I feel like it usually washes the doll out. But in this case, it's not doing that. I feel like it's working really nicely, maybe because she has such like a nice contrast on the lip. But yeah, it's beautiful. I think that the screening is good.
Yeah.
They always come with like a decent screening on her. I like her. I hate the fashion, but I like her.
Why'd you hate the fashion? Cool. Yeah.
They're going to have to give me a lot more if they want me to become a customer. I just don't know. Just don't feel inspired.
That's exactly what they're doing. Every doll launch is sitting at the table will be like, how can we get House of Deluge to buy one of our dolls?
Yeah, they probably decided.
Do we have other pictures of her? Yeah, here's her full outfit.
There she is.
Yeah,
So,
no, it's leggings.
Cute.
Oh, come on, it's leggings and literally
No, but it's
going to
like,
pick up the kids from school, literally.
But it's like streetwear, isn't it?
Yeah, I think she's cute. I'm into this styling. I really am. I like her street style is kind of hot. I like it.
Yeah.
I wish they sold this just like a fashion pack. I would buy a fashion pack.
Yes. I to be honest with you, I wouldn't mind buying DefaLucy. I don't know if what the quality's like. I've never seen one in person to know what that quality is going to be for the price.
$65, I think. By the way, we're looking at this image and I can see our listener, the Lulu404, which listens to every episode of the podcast. Hello, the Lulu.
Oh, hi, Lulu.
And the comment is, baby, what is with the hairline? You know what? That forehead, honestly. Girl, the forehead. Yeah, totally.
Can we like her comment? There we go.
Please, like the comment. Yes. No, that is not for me. Sorry.
All right, next.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, Katy Perry just seems desperate to just grab whatever kind of attention that she can get these days, whether it be going to space or releasing this hideous doll for $175. Like, I just don't know what...
Yeah.
Where to begin?
I think none of us can talk about this. It's just painful.
It looks like a off-brand
DefaLucy from the original.
Not even that. Not even. It just looks like something you would find in a bargain store. If someone put that in front of me and said, "Oh, this is $175," I would be out that door so fast. It just
elastic in the hair.
The elastic. Look. Let's just say, Katy Perry needs to come back down to earth because this is not working.
That's crazy. It looks like if you would brush her hair, it would fall out.
Yeah. Her nose looks pushed in.
As someone, the editing on these pictures is also just awful. Like, as someone who edits my pictures, I can tell you that the editing here is so cheap.
I think the head feels like, I don't know if you guys have it in America, but here in England, we have places called off license. And you normally go there and buy like drinks and crisps, all the stuff that you want to eat after you've been like sniffing drugs or stuff like that. And they have alcohol, and then they have like a section where they normally have toys and dog food and dog toys. She looks like one of the dolls that you would find in the corner of the off-license shop. And
Yeah.
I can tell you, that head, if you touch it, it squishes. I can tell you.
Yeah, look, her nose looks pushed in now in that picture.
It's just freaking horrible. I mean, they haven't even bothered to just give her like a proper photo shoot. It's just crap, literally.
Yeah, I think the only people that are going to be buying this doll, in reading the comments right here, is like Katy Perry's like hardcore fans. These are the only people that are buying this doll. Absolutely atrocious is what I would say. It looks like, so she has like a little jacket that comes off and reveals this dress. It's like a circus tent.
Worse and worse. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's like on theme for
Bless her. Bless her heart.
I think hard pass for
or
most.
Ignore.
Yeah, anyone who knows doll quality this is going to be a pass for them.
I like Katy Perry's music. I love some of her older songs, and I listen to her once in a while. I like her as, a woman. I respect her for what she's done in the musical industry. This thing,
it's just not needed. It's not needed. There's no point putting out a bad product for the sake of money, because that's what it boils down to. Real collectors who have that kind of money have seen what that money can get them in a different kind of doll, whether that's a Barbie collector, whether that's IT. Real collectors know this is not worth that money.
Right. All right, y'all. So I mean, I think it's rare that we're gonna be passing on all three. Are you guys getting the DefaLucy? I didn't ask you guys. I'm gonna be passing on all three.
I will be passing,
Yeah. Passing out.
Look at us, just being so responsible.
So frugal.
So curated. Look at us.
Money-saving queens.
Exactly. All right, next up.
And we are back for the newest segment in the Dolly Parton family, which we have called Dolly Friend. Let me explain very quickly what Dolly Friend is, because people are going to say, you have so many segments, girls. We don't know what the hell are they all about. You're right. So Dolly Friend is about interviewing friends of the podcast. They might join us once, twice, or more, and they will come and talk about something that is close and dear to their heart. So today we have a very, very special friend of the podcast, and that is Kevin. Hello, Kevin.
Hello.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi.
Kevin, do you want to introduce yourself to the friends of Dolly Parton?
So I'm Kevin. I'm from Belgium. I'm from a little town called Framery. It's near the French border. I've been collecting for about 5 years now. I only have an account on Instagram where I take pictures of my dolls in my new closet, because that's my newest setup. So on my account, you mostly see only Barbie and Integrity toys. I think it's easier to take pictures of them. You see them the most. But I do have a soft spot for LOL OMGs that I actually keep to myself, because it's like my little secret garden to myself. And I recently entered, thanks to one of y'all, the Brett's era, where I started collecting Brett. I started collecting Bretts, and I have two now.
Ooh, which two?
I think it's Always Bretts. Let me check the box.
Yeah.
Always Bretts collection. And I have the Chloe and the Yasmin
Ooh, lovely.
that I decided to get. And I just decided to get two to test them out and then commit to going further the rabbit hole of Bratz.
I think it's so... I'm sure you guys can relate. I love discovering a new doll brand and just suddenly having this whole new catalogue of dolls to collect and different ways of thinking of how you want to take photos of them. It really is such a lovely feeling.
I like how you're
Yeah, definitely.
I like how you're dipping your toes in the water and like testing the temperature. Like when I decided that I was entering my Bratz era, I think the night that I decided I was going to enter it, I had already ordered 8 Bratz.
Oh my God. But I actually started the water because I think it was you that said that the couch was like for $5
Yeah.
in America.
Yeah.
So I ordered 3 of the couches.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
well, I need to get down the Bratz Road. And Estefan was so talking about them that I was like, yeah, I'm going in it. I
He's
jumped in
infected
it.
all of us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? I jumped in it. I bought 2 and I decided, let me just get these 2 and then see. But I saw like on the American Amazon, the prices instead of like the Belgium Amazon. And I already have in my cart, like, I think 11. So I'm like, leaving it at that and telling myself, because with big orders, it's okay to ship it to Belgium. It's not going to be that expensive. But with a smaller order, it's a bit more expensive. I might get into the waters as big as you, Stefan, so get more in once and then commit.
Dive into the
fully.
ocean.
Yeah, exactly. Just drop me off right in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
So this is the situation at the moment. We officially all entered the Bratz era, thanks to
Which,
Estefan.
to our listeners, I think it's really important for me to make a note of. I introduced Bratz to Naomi a couple of weeks ago. One of the first times.
It was over a month ago.
Okay, but
Okay.
I
Check your facts, honey.
one of my Bratz dolls unopened to Naomi's place, and I let her unbox it, which she unboxed, ruined her hair, and said, yeah, I don't like it very much, and gave it back to me.
No.
And now she's in her Bratz era all of a sudden.
I am in my Bratz era, okay? You can't stop it.
Kevin, the reason why we wanted you to come onto the podcast was because you are currently dealing with something that I feel like a lot of collectors actually go through. They just don't share it out loud as you have with us. And that is currently dealing with
Menopause.
No, sorry,
I'm
not
going
menopause. With like burnout and with just feeling like you're not excited about your collection anymore, and you're just kind of feeling like almost like over your collection in a sense, where it's just like not bringing you excitement, it's not bringing you joy. I know that you are kind of excited about Bratz recently, but overall with like your collection, it's just like it's not bringing you the same happiness that it once brought you. So we wanted you to come in and talk a little bit more about that. When did you start feeling that way about your collection?
To be honest, I've been feeling that way, I think about a year ago. Because we were deciding to move from our old place. And while we were starting to look at houses, I didn't have that much time to play with my dolls anymore. Because before this whole thing, I actually played with my dolls almost daily, where I didn't post anything, but I just needed to play with them and dress them, because that's initially why I started collecting a long time ago. I loved the fashion side of it. Like, sometimes I don't care about the doll. I just care about dressing her and seeing the fashion idea of it, because it's my background in fashion. And I love women's wear. So that was why I started collecting again. And then I think with the move, we boxed the dolls. I didn't see them anymore. And it started not being excited for it anymore, because since you move and we put everything in boxes, you don't buy new things. You just stay with what you have. And then I think they stayed in the box for at least 6 months before we moved. And then we reopened the boxes. It just got worse. Where it got to a point where I decided to even sometimes stop my Instagram. And but I think there's a lot of other factors that, let's say, burnout situation just comes from. While I was preparing for this whole thing, you start analyzing everything, right? So it just comes in and you start thinking about what is collecting to you. And sometimes I think I saw collecting sometimes as hoarding in a way, because you start amassing so much stuff. Because let's be honest, I think we all have the same thing, is you have a doll, you have the clothes, but then to make the doll look good on pictures, you have to have bags, you have to have shoes, you have to have jewelry, and it just amasses. And you get to like being very overwhelmed. And I'm kind of a very minimalistic type of person. Like I don't like having a lot of things. And that I realized came with when I opened the boxes. I saw myself as a hoarder, and I didn't like that fact about me. I really didn't like the hoarder part of me. And that's why yesterday I decided to think of my collection and of the collecting part of my life more as being an architect of my legacies. And I connect with people with the same interest as me. You just want to leave your legacy in the world like any other person wants to be like, I was here.
I mean, I think a lot of what you said does resonate. I mean, I definitely have boxes and boxes of unopened dolls that I've yet to open, or, I kind of made a deal with myself that if I haven't opened something for a long time after having bought it or displayed it, it's not for me and it should go. Because that's otherwise it does become a hoarding situation, and it's almost like a safety net, because I'm like, oh, if I ever need to unbox something, at least I have that giant pile of unopened dolls.
Yeah, it's true. But you have that safety net. I'm the kind of person that when I have new things, I need to unbox it because I need to feel the materials, to feel the way they did their hair and everything. And sometimes, do I regret? Sometimes, yeah, of course. Because I'm like, I should have kept her in box and maybe given her a new home.
It's a very difficult decision, I have to say. Like, I know that there's a multitude of inbox collectors and out of box collectors. I have one Integrity Toys doll which I still haven't taken out the box, and I'm absolutely dying to take her out. But another part of me is like, but what if one day I need to sell her? And I guess that's probably not the right attitude to have.
No,
It should be something that I am enjoying and that I want to make the most out of. And I think that definitely contributes to burnout, is knowing that it's there and not having it opened or played with, or, especially with IT dolls, because they are so carefully made.
Do you feel like your Instagram and running an Instagram for your dolls contributes to your burnout?
I was actually going to get to that point. But I think before this whole situation, I was actually posting way more. I was posting maybe once a day, because when I started, obviously it was 2020. It was the pandemic. Hold on 2 seconds. I'm just going to say hi to my husband.
Okay.
Bonjour bébé. Ça va mon cœur? Oui. Oui.
French
Je suis en train de faire un podcast. Ça va?
Can we leave
À
this in?
tantôt. Je t'aime. Bisous.
That was a juicy
Sorry.
bisou.
Yeah.
I got big lips too. So I mean.
Yeah.
So obviously 2020 was the pandemic. So we had a lot of time. We were at home. And if you were on Instagram by that time, it was the time of challenges, events, and all that. And in the beginning, because I didn't have following and I was very new to the hobby, I was like, okay, maybe I should do those events, do those challenges, just to have like friends, and people commenting on my things and liking and making friends, and we connect. So that was the pressure of it, because at that time, every day there was an event. And I felt like I needed to post almost every day. And then, of course, you have the pressure in the beginning. You have the pressure of wanting to be liked and have a lot of followers and everything, because, your post is not doing that well. You're like, oh my God, what is so bad about it? And I was just so into I wanted to make content that people like.
Right.
Because I thought being liked by a lot of people meant being happy, which actually now that I look at it, if 2 people like my pictures, I'm okay with it. I just do it for myself. I think that's where my joy comes back, like little by little. And obviously being surrounded by you guys is amazing, especially because you're very supportive, and it's very nice to find that kind of... Right. Raj is so mean. No, but I'm joking. But I mean, it's finding that
community,
niche community that actually supports you. Because before I had a community, but I think my head was everywhere. I was putting energy into the wrong places, into projects that didn't happen, and that was really taking a lot of my time. And I was putting myself pressure on things that I shouldn't be putting myself pressure on. And now I'm like, okay, I know this is what I like. I'm going to post it. My community knows me. They will just like what I post,
Do you ever feel pressurized in choosing the type of content that you put out based on the people that follow you? So I'll make my example. I've started this Bratz tour situation here, which I'm very happy with, and is Estefan's fault. So I did post something like yesterday, and it didn't get much attention at all. When there are other posts that I make for other brands that get a lot more attention. And I do feel pressure. I mean, I don't feel pressurized, but I do feel like, I want to put out content
that it didn't
people
go.
actually,
Yeah.
that people are going to enjoy. They're going to come and say, oh, I like that. I enjoy that.
I feel like you want to replicate the success, right?
Yeah. I mean, for you it's difficult because you're not successful, but for me...
No, 100%. Like, I agree with you there. Like, when you have had a post and an engagement that has skyrocketed anything compared to anything else you've done before, you want to replicate it 100%. And so I completely get that. There's actually nothing wrong with the content you put out, that specific doll, that Bratz doll, but it's when you don't get the same reaction. I can understand how that can contribute to burnout, because you put time, effort, and energy as content creators on a bigger scale or smaller scale. I mean, Estefan, you would know because you put out quite consistent YouTube videos. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to put it out.
Yeah.
And so when you don't get that same response, I can understand how it contributes to burnout completely.
Yeah, you put a lot of efforts in these pictures, like the way you stay for the doll to stand like without falling, the way you want to drape the clothes, and not having that reciprocated by likes or by people loving what you do is very hard. I think it's very brave to, like, your account is very IT Barbie, a very type of glamorous type of doll, and then you added
There's
in
a certain aesthetic there, which
exactly. That's what I
about,
mean by that. It's very glamorous.
Aesthetic.
It's very elegant and everything. It's very Italian. That's what I want to say. And then you added the Bratz, and you're like, I want the Bratz to do as well as, for instance, a post you did with the Alejandra dolls that did very well. It's very stressful to have that pressure. I've had it. It's very bad because you start comparing yourself to others, and then you start comparing yourself to, for instance, a Bratz account that is very good, that has been doing that for years, and it's also a community thing. I mean, when you have an Instagram, you come into the algorithm of other people and you're in the community,
I think what I've seemed to have understood is that, for example, Integrity Toys has got 70,000 followers on Instagram, but the Instagram community around Integrity Toys is very, very big. So there's a lot of people that post the dolls, because those dolls are made to be photographed and they're meant to represent models. Bratz has got 2.2 million followers on Instagram as a page. However, I don't think the community is quite as strong on Instagram. There's a lot of like a cultural echo for the brand, but there isn't like a very strong photo-based community, or I don't know, videos or reels.
I think there is, Naomi. I think we're just not on there. We're just not. It's not a part of our algorithm, but I think there definitely is.
It is because I remember in 2020 when I was dabbling in Instagram, you had different communities. Obviously, you had the Integrity that we know, that I know because I post Integrity. You had the Barbie, and then you had the Bratz. Those communities don't actually really mix, especially for the history part of it. The Bratz and the Barbie community don't really always mix.
Nate, I've noticed that the Bratz accounts are specifically Bratz accounts.
Exactly.
They don't have anything else.
Like, that's what I used to notice as Bratz accounts. Like, even when they do YouTube videos or anything, they're really going to be very focused on Bratz. They're very passionate about it.
One thing that I was going to suggest for people who are experiencing this burnout, where they're kind of like comparing themselves a lot to other accounts, and then they're just feeling like, I put so much effort into my pictures and they're not getting as much likes as this picture, who looks like they hardly put any effort into whatever this picture was. What I started doing myself a couple years ago was I started hiding not only my likes, but other people's likes too. I don't want to see how many likes other people get, and I don't want other people to see how many likes I get. I don't care how many likes this person get in their post. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I'll keep scrolling. You know what I mean? And then I don't really care for other people to see how many likes that my post is getting either. And that has helped me have a little bit of peace of mind when I'm posting too, and take a little bit of the pressure off of that. Yeah. Do you guys have any other tips that you guys would recommend for someone who is going through something similar to that burnout that Kevin is feeling?
Yeah, as on the collecting part of it, if you're going to take off the side of Instagram and pictures and whatever, I think when you, obviously then what you do as a collector that doesn't have Instagram, or instance, you go to YouTube, you see like your favorite doll collectors who put videos out. And it's true, when you have the heavy consumerism,
like Plastic Poppy
and the FOMO. Plastic Poppy is actually super good. I love Plastic Poppy.
Yes.
Which is the only plastic that we like.
And credit card.
No, but I mean when you... that one...
Jazz.
Because that one gets our dolls. No, but I mean, we all have had that moment where we have FOMO because a doll comes on and everybody wants to have it. And then you're like, I need to have it. You go pay scalper prices. And after that, when you get the doll, you're like, I didn't really want her. You know, I just wanted her because of all the hype around it. You then are not a active participant in your collection. You're just cruising through you're living through somebody else's collection and just wanting to add to yours.
You're just being easily influenced. I think just taking a step back and just being like, do I actually want this doll, or am I just being easily influenced, is very important.
Yeah. But yeah, I take a step back. Is it a buy because I love her, or is it a buy because I was forced? And it's very difficult to say no, because you even see them on TV at some point. So,
and also, I'll also add to that and say, when it comes to collections, I've definitely been a victim of wanting a complete collection of dolls. When I was collecting Rainbow High, I wanted all of them. All of them. Like, whether I like them or not, I wanted every single one of them. And I think that can also contribute to financial burnout. And actually, just going back a step, I think one of the pieces of advice I would give to someone who's experiencing social media and content burnout, similarly to turning off likes, I think it's important to post content when you want to, not when you feel like you have to. Just do it when you want to do it, when you feel compelled to do it. I'm not very good at posting consistently or sharing my community's posts or liking them and stuff.
Or posting at all.
And it's not anything personal, as it is just the feeling overwhelmed sometimes. I'm someone who suffers from neurodivergence, and even something as small as commenting can feel like quite a larger task than it needs to be. So just do what feels right. And, you know, likes and engagement, it comes and goes, comes in waves. Sometimes you get something that knocks out the park and sometimes you don't. And I don't think you should base your collection or how you feel about collecting on that.
I think Raj has a really good point, but I think sometimes we also just have depression. I think that's something that we have to acknowledge. Sometimes you're just depressed, you know what I mean? Sometimes you're just going through life, and a side effect of having depression is just not being interested in the things that usually you have an interest in, you know what I mean? So I think sometimes we just have to realize, you know, maybe I have a little bit of depression, and that's okay. That's a human emotion, and I need to like work through this, and then I can return to it whenever I can. Last year, my dog was passing away, and the dolls just weren't my focus at that time. You know what I mean? It's not that I didn't love my dolls, and it's not that I didn't want to take pictures of them forever. I was just like, I took like I think 5-month break off of Instagram just because I was spending time with my dog, and then grieving my dog, and then just going through that, and just taking pictures of my dolls just was not a priority. I lost a lot of followers whenever I did that. Thankfully, a lot of them came back when I started posting again, but I think that it's just something that people go through. Sometimes you lose interest in your hobbies, and you'll regain that interest eventually, I think. I think it's just natural. It's a human thing, but taking some of those pressures off of you that don't have to be there is the most helpful advice.
That's true. It resonates with me, like the depression part. And you don't want to add that negative side of you into your dolls, because after that you just don't come back to it, because you're gonna be like taking the dolls as a negative part, which is not true.
Right.
So yeah, I totally get it, and I think it's totally normal. I took a break. I'll be honest, I took a break for a long time too, because I was like, it's not what I want to do right now. I have to focus on myself. I mean, I lost a job. I had a lot of depression, and so I needed to focus more on myself than focus on what was happening, focus on taking pictures of a doll and be like, oh, hey, everything's great. And you need to heal yourself as well, because we're all human beings. We need to function in a certain way. So we need to heal ourselves sometimes. And I totally understand when people take breaks, because they need to. When I look at the community, the people I started with like 5 years ago, a lot of them lost interest now, but I know they'll come back. We all have a life outside of Instagram. Maybe not you, Raj, but we all have a life outside of Instagram. I think at some point you need to let yourself breathe. And that's something you have to learn, is when you have that pressure come on, you go like, the dolls can wait. I mean, they're plastic. They're not going to run away. They're plastic.
Yeah.
They're just going to stay there. And you take care of you, boo. And then check yourself. And then you can check your dolls again and go back into your fantasy world.
I think it was very brave of you to talk about this topic and your burnout and your challenges with your mental health and how this had as a repercussion on your hobby. And I think finding community and finding friends, even if they live in the total opposite side of the world, and they have to wake up at 7 o'clock to come and record a podcast with you.
I so appreciate it.
Or they have to up the entire afternoon to do this. It's always good, because it makes you feel like you're a part of something.
No, it's true.
Which is what really matters. It's not how many dolls you have. It's not how many repaints you get. It's not how many shoes. It's not whether you have the biggest doll closet in the world. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that you have community, you have friends, that you're loved. And
exactly.
Even if you put content that nobody's going to like, who cares? As long as you have those 3 or 4 people comment.
Exactly. And it's okay to take your time. It's okay to take your time, because this is something I'll be honest, I've been struggling with my mental health for a long, long time. It's just that I decided to finally take care of it. And what I realized is that you need to let yourself take your own time. And that's good that when you have friends like you guys, it's always good to have, like that moment of being able to talk about it and be honest to each other. And yeah, Naomi, you're totally right. If this continues, I'm going to cry, and I will hate you for it. And I will never like a post again. I promise. One tear comes down, I'm not liking no post.
It's okay.
For 5 years.
It's okay.
Kevin, we have a Dolly Parton playlist where we have a collection of songs, and we ask each of our guests to contribute to this playlist by leaving us a song. So what song would you like to leave to the Dolly Parton official playlist?
Can it be like any song from any era?
Any song.
Yeah? Okay. So when I was preparing for this podcast, because obviously I prepare myself a little bit, one song actually came to mind a lot. And it was Fighter by Christina Aguilera.
Ooh.
Because I think exactly.
Of course.
I think that at any point in this life, we all go through something. Everybody goes through something. And we all think that we cannot make it through. And I just think you need to remind yourself that you're a fighter. And no matter what you do, as in the video with Christina Aguilera, you need to let yourself go through that metamorphosis and become a butterfly. So that's why I chose Fighter.
I love that.
Unless you're Naomi and you stay a caterpillar. But yeah, no, I...
All right, Kevin, where can our listeners find you on Instagram?
Find me on Instagram at style.withkay. I'm actually gonna work on a TikTok. I already have the name, but it's not open yet. So yeah.
Premiere, you heard it here first.
Oh.
Yeah.
How about your OnlyFans?
Girl, I'm working on that. Maybe someone wants to see me do stuff.
It's Big Lip Bezos.
Come on.
Exactly, it's gonna be big lip, big moves, and stuff like that. But yeah, no, it's not cute. But thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it. I feel honored.
Thank
So
you
thank
for
you
coming,
again.
baby.
No problem.
Thank you.
You are and you will always be a friend of Dolly Parton.
Yes.
Thank you, Dolly Parton.
I
will
it.
always be friends with you guys too.
And that's a wrap. Thank you very much to everyone who's listening and joined the podcast today. What was everyone's favorite parts?
I have to say, roasting Katy Perry is always fucking fun for me. So,
Yeah.
especially the Katy Perry doll, we have even more reason to roast her. So,
Guys, do you ever feel like you're a plastic bag?
a plastic fag.
Hey! Yeah, I have to admit, Katy Perry's doll was definitely on the shop this week. But a wonderful episode once again. Where can we find you, Estefan?
You can find me on YouTube and Instagram at Plastic Poppy.
Lovely. And Naomi?
Thank you, Sister Mary. You can find me on... You can find me on... this was funny. I don't know why you're not laughing. You can find me on...
Was it?
It was very funny. You can find me on House of Deluge on both Instagram and Facebook, but also on TikTok. And yeah, that's me. Where can we find you?
And you can find me on Instagram on House of Kismet.
Join
Love
his
you to
88
you.
followers. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.